How's it going, y'all? Back with another one. No, we're still not back with Celeste. For those that don't know, Celeste essentially my main OC, the one that's basically at the forefront of my comic, Seeks of the Derelictfruit. But with this episode right now, I wanted to focus more so on her older brother, Helios, who's essentially the secondary protagonist. He has his own goals, his own dreams. Really, not so much dreams, more so just things that he wants, but responsibility keeps him from doing that. This was essentially a piece from one of my whip folders where I was just toying with the idea of him using his flame that eventually evolved into like this little mini comic. Essentially what he's getting down to while Celeste is fighting for her life against Hathor. So this is happening at this very moment in the comic. Like, you'll be able to read it towards the end, but it follows Helios and his drone getting information from this informant, and once they have it, reaches out to his general, Apollo, who, if you've seen my shorts, reels, whatever, a few weeks ago probably, I show Apollo what he used to look like versus as you see him now. As I'm doing these inks, a lot done happened since then. Like the last time you seen Apollo was when Helios was a kid, and this is like 15 or so years after the fact, and a lot's done happened since then. Things changed, but Helios, he still cares for his former mentor turned essentially boss man. Their dynamic is somewhat complicated. Like, he's not gonna go out of his way to do things for him, but he's not gonna just leave him on his own. Essentially, when they're home, they're all each other get. And even though Helios, he still has Celeste every now and then, they go check up on each other, but Apollo, as he is right now, he has no one. With his family, it's just, I won't give too much away, but they're all essentially out for themselves, trying to get one up on the other. But Helios, he's just doing what he can. His story is more so aligned with duty and responsibility, as opposed to Celeste, who's more so seeking freedom, seeking answers, and just find a purpose in her life. I was talking to one of my friends and they were like, so is he a big bad guy or something? I was just like, no, that's not his type of deal. Even though he's doing something that's not really aligned with his morals, per se, at the end of the day, he's doing what he's got to. Like, he's a part of the Atlantean Empire's military. He's a high-ranking captain. It's the title of this video. And he's essentially like working both sides. Like, if you watch the lore videos and heard me talk about it, just like Celeste, he's also blooded. And with that comes his own missive. Celeste was able to break free, but Helios, he still has those he cares for that are within the blooded family, not just Celeste. he believes he can play both sides, but eventually he's gonna have to make a choice, even though he doesn't want to. Eventually that day will come, and I have the idea in mind where his story will end, where it's gonna transition, and how their two paths will essentially intersect. But for now, they're separate. But that's all I really want to give away without giving too much away. Like, I could tell you more about Helios. Like, for instance, my idea, when I imagine him speaking, he sounds like Will from Baldur's Gate 3. For those that played, that would be my ideal voice cast for him. As for Celeste, she sounds like Rary from Black Lagoon. Deep dive for those that know, you know. And I like to think of the dynamics between mentor and mentee, where it's like Celeste had Artemis and vice versa. And in my mind, they were like Ahsoka and Anakin. And Helios and Apollo, they're sort of like the inverse of that. If I were to put it in terms, it'd probably be, who would it be? Just off the top of my head, it'd have to be Maul and Savage Opress, or even, who is it? Like, it's on the tip of my tongue. But I'm sure it'll come to me in one of these videos when I do come back to Helios, because this won't be the last we see of him. If anything, it's more so a proper introduction, just to see his personality outside of the reels I've made. Like, the shorts, they can be humorous, a little fun even, but they're more so a glimpse into the stuff we see in between, like the cover stories in the One Piece. Just little glimpses into what they get up to outside of the main story. Hold up, now it came to me. It's like if Iruka and Naruto, same situation, but it was really fucked up. Eventually, Iruka just went down the worst possible path, and Naruto was just like, I mean, I guess you helped me out when I was a kid, so I just throw you a little something every now and then, but nothing more, nothing less. That's how their dynamic works out. It's a little more so not, I hate you, let's die. It's more so, I tolerate you for what you did for me, so I won't ruin your day. It's more so I feel sad for you, like what you used to be versus what you are now. And Apollo knows, at least in the back of his mind, that Helios pities him, that he let himself get to this point. But he knows better, at least he thinks, that if he were to challenge his former student, that as he is now, he'd be outclassed, outmatched. But Helios doesn't operate that way. He just wants to be left alone. He wants to be free without having to shed extra blood. But that's it for now. And as always, stay rotten. Peace.